Alright. Welcome, welcome. It needs to be turned up. It's hard to tell. There you go. Oh, we started a little bit early. Well, that's fine. I get to hear the music a little bit longer. Alright. Let's see. Actually, there are some things I need to take care of, so that's good. There we go. Recenter my face. There we go. Looking good. Mic on. Check, check. Okay, cool. Maybe I should talk into the mic. Might work a little better. There we go. Okay. That's looking good. Cool. Okay. Just want to make sure we're all good. And we're starting relatively on time there. That's good too. Alrighty, here we go. Guess I should... What's the best way to go about this? I guess I can like stop this music, and then I go to here, and then I can then turn this one on. I guess just kind of get that a little bit lower. That doesn't really help here. Just kind of turn down a little bit. There we go. Okay. Hi. Everything else should be set up, but let me know if the audio's gets wacky at any point in time, and I can always do a little DJ mix-up kind of a stuff and try to figure that out. So, yeah, let me know. Let me know if it gets... The main thing is that if it gets louder than me talking, it's supposed to be background music, not music entertainment, I guess. Oh, I did take some songs out of rotation, and I added like a couple new ones, so it kind of evens out of how many songs there are, but you should hear some new songs during the stream. So there you go. Oh, I have my arm so I can actually say hello to everyone. Hello. Sorry, Cookie, Ben, and Dakota. Welcome. Is that enough? And for everyone else who's in watching land, who's passive watching, hello. Welcome. Yeah, I've actually been super busy. As you can tell, I've been working on this monstrosity looking thing for a little while. Let's see, where were we last time? I guess this song has a little bit of a downtime at the end. Let's see. I think we're gonna see this again. Oh no, we're committed to this now. So I have been working on this. The brown skull is now the new one. I call it the retopologized version, which just means that I breathed at the mesh with a new mesh and just kind of used the old mesh as a base. Anyways, putting on a new shirt on and trying to get those same creases and stuff with a new shirt on top. If I go to material, it's looking okay. Hopefully it looks a little bit more round, at least, than the other one. It's gonna be a lot of weird stuff like that. It's probably gonna be showing up. So yeah, here's our first one. So obviously it still has the ears and the mouth. The actual snoot is here, but I kind of spent the entire last time that I was working on this what's even today? Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. Working to get this, hang on, the actual mesh of this to look as smooth as possible to make this like look as nice as it can be relatively. Still a lot of like weird stuff going on, and I kind of work with every single point on here to make it look as nice as it can. Obviously there'll still be a little bit of jank. It's mirrored, but on the whole, I think it's pretty good. There's some nice loops for the eyeball sockets. See like how you can kind of go around here and go all the way around with one loop around. So this will be the eye hole, high punch. And it's a little bit around. Maybe I could turn off my subdivision. Yeah, it's not really Or I guess you can't really see when it's in. Yeah, so that's off. So this is what I actually modeled. And then there's the smoothing algorithm to smooth it out a little bit. The only problem with the smoothing out is that actually kind of makes the actual profile actually a little bit smaller. I'm gonna keep having to play with the mixing here. Yeah, so you can see like when, honestly, so the tip of the nose without subdivision is about here. The only problem is when I want to put smoothing on to make it look nicer, is that it kind of goes that far down. So either I need more geometry to like bridge this a little bit more, or maybe to like just remove subdivision entirely. But then you get all these weird creases and it just kind of looks polygonal instead of nice and relatively more smooth. So I've been working really hard to get that going. And today, actually literally today, I worked on the eyeballs. Let's see which way looks best. Okay. This isn't perfect as I was working on it tonight, or it is what, even afternoon. I've lost all sense of reality. Let me back up. I have an eyeball hole sclera kind of holding thing. I looked at the other Blender Derpy model to see what they did, and they have this whole like extra object. It's like beta sclera, which is the white part of the eye. So, and that just kind of sits right in between the skull and the I guess the pupil goes on top. So there's some fancy modifiers on the, actually a whole bunch here. A whole bunch of modifiers on the pupil, which is the yellow part, that make it so that this kind of works the way that I like it to. So I have a, oh, let's see how this works. Okay, that's working. That almost works. It's very finicky. Like if you're looking at it from the right angle, then it works, but if you don't, then it just kind of breaks down. If you even probably, yeah. This is actually what you want, is this kind of thing, but not that extreme. So it's like very picky of like, have to be right angle and then moving at the right place. So what's happening is that I'm trying to make a pseudo mask sort of thing, and so that the, without the shrink wrap, the pupil is apparently over here. It's kind of moving forward a little bit in space here. So the pupil has geometry, and so it could be, I don't know how to explain shrink wrap. It just kind of gets, it takes the information from another object, in this case the sclera, and so it kind of like warps and tries to bend to like kind of go on top and try to use what the mesh of the other one is trying to try to work. So if I hide the skull, see how it's trying to like deform around the it tries to match the surface of the sclera, which kind of gets a little bit off there, but hopefully with how the head is there, you actually won't see it too much unless you're at the wrong angle trying to move this around. So still work in progress, but that's what I was trying to copy what the other model used. So I thought this would be the right way to do it. So I don't know, you always try to learn from the best, but sometimes maybe it doesn't, maybe I'm doing it wrong, or maybe there's a better solution to this. The main thing is that the pupil has can be cut off, but apparently maybe if you turn off the shrink wrap, then it just kind of it's flat. It's like straight up and down like this. So to actually get that curve to actually match how the sclera has a hi Sasha. On Minecraft. To get that curvature of how the eyeball this one is and have it match, I need to shrink wrap, but then shrink wrap has its own problems where it kind of glitches out And then it glitches out because it's trying to calculate where the surface of the sclera is, and it's like trying to have trouble with that. So obviously if it's on a flat surface, then it works really fine, but as soon as it kind of gets, so that's a pretty good example of what it's trying to do, is that it's trying to match the curvature, and it's just kind of right on top. It's just right on top, so as soon as it kind of hits nothing, then it kind of like freaks out because it's like, there's nothing here. And so on that weird curve on the side here, just trying to get to 7. Am I people actually closer there? Is that it starts to break up? So way to probably fix this would be to manually keep making sure that the entire geometry of this looks okay, and then I can like smooth this out or something, you know, bulge it out or something to make this a little bit more flat. But at the same time, it's like it's not really gonna really work as well as I think, so I'll probably make this a little flatter here. What are you guys doing? Try to explain how much I've been working on this since like the entire afternoon, so how you guys doing? This is what I've been up to. I've been trying to make this at least somewhat okay. So I'm just gonna try and make this a little... Nah, okay. And it depends on like what angle and what... There it is, so... Thankfully, I'm not trying to do that too much, but I'm just trying to work with, I'll cover my bases for if that needs to happen, but more often than not, I'll probably just need to just make sure that this works. So basically just to make sure that this can work, where it just kind of looks around. Maybe just keep the people inside of, you know, inside of the white part, the sclera. So I can see like it kind of goes over a little bit, so that could be easily fixed as well. But yeah, it just seems like I'm just trying to learn these certain things as I go along. So it's just kind of trial by fire with a lot of this stuff, as most of what I've been doing with Blender has been what you've seen in the movies for my Paper Derpy movie. It's just kind of been making different, like, you know, I just need a, you know, one of those 6.4 size beep turn off proportionality. It's a barrel, and then you just color it, and then you don't worry about it, like you're done. And just making hundreds and hundreds of different props like this, and then not worrying about it. So this is like my first like trial to like really make an actual character, and it's like I'm trying to like learn all this stuff as I go. So that's why a lot of this is not exactly working as well as I thought, but it seemed to be working a little bit before, so now I'm just kind of upset as soon as I'm live. It's like, yeah, it's not quite working. So anyway, let's work on something else, because that's always good to make sure you don't get stuck with like one thing your entire day, especially if it's not quite working as planned. Let's just go ahead and move on to something else. So I'm gonna work on the nose and stuff here. So what happened with the first head is that it just got really, really big, and you can see like how with this one it's a little bit larger than the reference snoot. So even if I wanted to retopologize it correctly, you know, in quotes, won't quite work because I made this too big, and now there's too many this has too many points now, and it's just like it's not gonna, in this new, to really make this easy to work with. So it's just be better to start from scratch. So that's what I'm doing here. So let's work on that. Alrighty. Well, I don't know how you guys are doing, so I'll just continue with this then. Oh boy, let's turn these off. It's been a lot of fun, but also very, very stressful to try and get a lot of this going, especially when it's like, I feel like I know how to do this, but then somewhere along the way, like, it doesn't, and it's like, but this should be the way. So, just gonna bang my head against the wall for who knows how long, just trying to make it work. And it's like, it's just not. So, I don't know. So I definitely have a great appreciation for 3D artists. Because I'm always like, oh, you're just using 3D, so it's like, it's not like anything too substantial, I guess, but it is. Trying to make one character is extremely tricky. Just gotta hide everything else. I have this reference for the wing I brought in, so maybe I can do that sometime too. But more likely, I'll probably just see what I can do today, and then I'll probably just work on the modeling on my own time. So you guys won't have to worry about me working on this for another who knows how long, or especially like having way too many streams about this. So, oh boy, getting to tell what's going on with this. Okay. Oh, there we go. Nothing exciting. Works exciting. Some people, I guess. I know what you mean. About to get McDonald's. Interesting. Well, I hope you love it. That's not it. Let's figure out how to do this. I feel like some of these points are a little bit off, so let's kind of straighten it out. See if I can block this out first before committing to anything substantial. Okay. So what I want is obviously to have it kind of go around. So maybe I can just, I mean, the simplest to like expand this would just be to get this point and then literally extrude it. So I have like a extra point here and I can probably just go around now. And then let's go forward. Okay. So I went over there, which isn't ideal. Let's move these boys, not those boys, but just these boys to line these up with that. There we go. Okay, and then this might actually be a little bit easier if I just kind of just keep using literal dots now. And make a mouth like this. And then continue with the cheek. Try to figure out how many dots are there and how many dots are here. Or at least just make sure that these kind of work out. And then, we don't need that for now. Okay, so at least we have a plan for this. So what do we actually got? We got this. This little outline. And I'm thinking I want to make some curlier rounds. Gotta subdivide this. It looks like it's not quite straight, but maybe it is. It's hard to tell. Aha. If I do this. Wait a minute, what's this one doing here? And now my 3D's gonna be a little messed up here. Actually, no, this one goes right in the middle. And let's try and get these as straight as possible. There you go. Okay. So now I got this, so I would like to subdivide this and this length. W, subdivide. So I have an extra dot here and here. And E. Ooh, I got two of them, so that's fun. And let's see. So obviously I can't go. This one can't go up. And then extrude there. I'm going to actually merge at last. Turn that up. Turn the music up. Okay, okay. And from the side view, I want all these to be aligned with the jaw. Just gonna grab the whole thing and just kind of drag that over. See that these need to be over here, just so that they're flat, basically. Okay. And then we can always play with the mesh, like putting these out and everything. But there we go. Now we got some lips in a way. Changing my viewing angles and stuff. So, okay. Is there an easier way to do this? Most definitely. Should I be doing it the more easier way? Most probably. The easier way maybe to actually start with some real geometry instead of a whole bunch of points and then hoping that this works. Because right now I'm not actually sure if exactly what I'm doing is going to work, but at least now I have some. I only have 3 points here, so I'm going to have to subdivide all the way through here and cut here, just so I can have some one, two, three, four. So let's add, nope, another point. Start to connect some of these so I can actually fill this in if I want. Or not. Fill this into a shape here. I'm going to turn the mirror on just to see. Do I have something that at least looks okay? Okay. I just need to turn that back on. I can see the full width of the mouth. So this is only a center line, so that's a little bit tricky, as now I have to. Well, now I got this geometry, so actually it should be relatively simple now to like get this one out. and connect these two. Is that 4? Okay. So just building this geometry out until we get something. And something is going to be hopefully a big snoot. And I think I want to connect here to here. So I'm going to have to make another line and another line and then connect these two. Three-quarter or just 3 view, and make sure that these line up okay-ish. So we'll have some sort of shape here. Sorry, I keep pressing a whole bunch of buttons there. There we go. Okay. Be a little bit flatter. Trying to diagnose what I want to do here. Beep. Okay, so now I got a geometry there. Okay. So I'm gonna have to continue with this, but I see that I don't have enough geometry from here to make a square, so I'm gonna have to extend another one out. And I might as well just make this one out as well. Extend this one. At least these could be easily put there. And what I'm trying to do is that I keep only selecting 2 edges and then trying to fill it with a polygon, but it just says like, oh, we want these 2 to be connected, so it makes a triangle instead. So I have to select 3 at least to then get the square that I want. So hopefully by making this more having more dedicated and more specific geometry just for the snoot that's completely separate from the back and the neck. Because that's what happened last time, is that I had kind of, I don't even know how I did it. To be honest, I forgot of how I actually did the first time. Where I guess I got evidence. I got video evidence of how I did it, but yeah. I think the problem was that I didn't have dedicated like loops and dedicated shapes like this. I guess I was also trying to work with, yeah, the problem is that I tried to work with using the subdivision as my crutch to like get the kind of shapes that I wanted, or to get the volume that I wanted more really. And that was a problem because is that they were not exactly the best for, what am I even saying at this point? My brain is just so lost with this now. I could have extruded it instead. I feel like I missed a line. Yeah. WS to get another dot. And that goes, what? What the? Oh, I'm trying to extrude it. Okay. I'm just gonna keep undoing it until something better happens here. Line. Subdivide. Move. There you go. So I think the way I can explain what happened last time is that the... Why doesn't this feel straight? The subdivision, as I kind of showed you, is that it kind of creates its own it changes the volume and changes how the volume gets shrunken down if there's not enough geometry. So already like my beautiful volume is gone, so I was trying to work with the subdivision as my sort of way to make the mesh, because I thought I wouldn't I thought I would use that as my final mesh, but now I realize that it'd be better, it's best to probably make a retopologization version of it and not rely on how it's going to be interpreted by the subdivision. The modifier was leading me to think that that was going to be my final one, so I was going to use that one for my final, but now I realize that it'd be best to actually make that as my sculpture version. That's correct. That is high poly, but I didn't actually make that one actually apply my high polyness to it, so all I was left was the same very few vert, and still being very editable, but not actually very useful. Maybe we should talk about something now, because I can't actually figure words of anything I'm trying to say today. Hi guys, doing again? Are you still guys doing okay? Oh boy. Supposed to be... that's right. I watched a couple of videos earlier today as well while I was working on 3D, and they had some nice advice and best ways and best practices for 3D. And it's like, yeah, don't fall in love with your models, don't, you know. If you get feedback, then don't take it personally. Some very good stuff like that. So I feel like I have to make this not my baby, but still have to do. Also, don't have to think about. I have to do my best because I feel like my skills are good enough. You know, like I have to still work hard, but also don't make myself think that I have to do like really good work all the time, you know, like it's okay. That's only smooth because of the subdivision. Yeah. Okay, so I want some loops around the nozzle. Let's work on this. At least I can connect a bunch of these lines together. I figured this would be simpler because like I would obviously have like the most amount of flexibility to be able to work with this, but may not actually be true. Oh man, there we go. It was completely off. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Being able to do that. To fill it in like practically automatically. Star cookie still there? Should I wake you guys up? We got the Vorbot again. I mean, I appreciate you guys, you know, for coming along, but yeah, that's not cool. All right, thank you. Still here. Okay, great. All right. Well, how have you been, Star? Let's see. There you go. That's a cool name, though. Ugh. I think my mom still thinks you're in college or something. Unless you are, then that'd be still as awkward. She only really knows you from the BronyCon experience, so. She talked about that recently, as that's what's on my mind. Let's see. These guys are better than they could be using the same accounts, but haven't paid much attention to names. But you haven't paid attention? Okay. Yeah, it's just weird. It's like, what? Whatever. Pay no mind. But also, like, what exactly were they trying to pull? Maybe this could be connected. Beep. Hey, you graduated. Congrats. Alright. I'll be sure to tell my mom. Awesome. Waiting for her to call back for a job. Okay. Oh, there we go. Thank you. It's a little bit hard to read the font on that. Thank you, though. Also, I don't think that's Latin, so I don't think I'll be able to get that correct either way. Well, that'd be really awkward if it was the Vorbot. I'm like, oh, thank you. Still trying to get my attention for some reason. Did it update the name at the top to be the same name? And then top left, there's like a newest subscriber. Should say that. It's a little bit awkward here, geometry-wise. Just because I don't have these filled in. Okay, so I was also going to have the next ring around the rosy bee. Oh yeah, I said it was not Latin, so I was like, not gonna try. It's really like Russian or Ukrainian. Ooh, Ukraine. That's fun. Yeah, only really language I'm learning is Japanese. But even now, I still feel like I'm just dangling down by a thread. I'm not really not truly working on it. Well, especially not anymore. I've switched back to German because I was learning German in high school. So German's fun. It's not as, it's pretty English in a sense where like a lot of words are feel like English, just with a German accent. So, oh yeah, we're always learning English every day. I've also gotten into Wordle. That's been fun. My family likes playing that. I've been getting Wordle right each day. I don't think I lost a Wordle question. Oops. I think my normals are flipped. Is that a button? Nope. Let's go back. Yeah, see how the color is not as shiny? So I think my normals actually flipped around. That did not help either. Okay, let's go back. If it wasn't too far back. Beep, beep. Okay, cool. Beep, 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 beep. 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 And it didn't fill this one in. Is that actually? Yeah, it does. There we go. Okay. Jeez. Okay, noozle. But is it cute? No. Good thing is to make sure, important thing is to make sure that the blocking in with just amount of topology. If I add too much, especially if this too early, it's gonna look bad. Or it'll be harder to then edit it if there's more information. So I'd be fairly careful, because not always can add, but it's harder to subtract and have it still look good. Let's push these out a little bit. I can't whistle. So even if I wanted to sing along. Alrighty. Let's get a juice break. Cup didn't work. Let's see. That's okay. Let's see. Yeah, you definitely talked a lot more than everyone else combined. Let's see though. Okay. So here's what I don't speak. Stream starts at 7 minutes. I usually have dinner during the stream. Ah, okay. I get you. I should be getting kind of close. Oop. Trying to move this over a little bit. Oh, that's crazy. I forgot the mirror was on. Let's turn that off. I can't tell what's going on. Okay. So what I want is from there to be a block here. Beep, 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 beep. To go around so I could have more geometry around the lips here. So I could use this one. That's way down here, but I feel like that's a little bit far. So we'll want like one right around here. So I'm going to actually select this one and subdivide it here. And then I can move this one up around here. Okay. Had a thought of whether to just actually extrude it more bitterly, but I guess not. Oh, wrong one. Merge and last. Or not. There you go. So that works. So it should be, excuse me, at least pretty close to there. Okay. So then it's just gonna be same thing of extruding all these boys out, and then merging all these, which we're done. So, okay. This song is actually called Dog and Pony Show. So I guess if you can look that up and find a better credit for that. It's in the YouTube. It was in the YouTube stock music, so you know if Dan was like, "Hey, that sounds good," you know, then blame him for that. Using stock music for Doki Doki. Definitely has the same, like, very similar tone, I guess. So I can see that. Let's see. Beep, 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 beep. Move this forward a little bit. Okay, so now I got lips. And if I want to, I can just keep adding more and more lips, or rings, I should say, going around. Something like that. Why does this feel weird? Aha. So far away that one was, I'm telling you. What even am I looking at? Why is it not fun? There we go. Put these all similar place, which was not a good idea. Uh-oh. There you go. I want these to be in the same place. There we go. Okay. And I can keep messing with that for eternity. Yeah, I appreciate it, Star. For keeping the chat alive is always very noble. Okay, so we can start to work with this to fill in these gaps a little bit more. So I feel like I might need, because I see 2 here, and to make a box, that's not going to actually. This can work. This can be box. Box, and then pop, and then merge, and then merge, and now I have 2 boxes. Always like to make sure that these lines are relatively, don't have to be like perpendicular, but at least flowing in a generally straight line like that, and then making sure that these flow in a generally perpendicular line like that too. Keep doing that. I feel like one of these days if I select two of them, so two edges, it'll fill it out, but I don't know. So that'll fit here, and this will fit here. Sure. I did it. And undid it. Okay, so this is a tricky part, and then it's just filling this in, which hopefully will be less tricky than it sounds. It looks like this is a triangle, so that's not good. Let's undo this for real quick and see what we can do. Think about this a little bit smarter. That this can fit, and then this will be a new branch to which this one and this one and this one can work. It's like a weird vectoring style that I'm not really used to, so it's kind of fun to work with this. Fun to like figure out like what's the best way to make this into a square. Is really hard. Let's see. Hello. Yes, actually everything is in the description, so you can check that out. My social medias are in there, and our program is in there as well. I actually upgraded to Blender, yep, 3.0.1, and if you can see, actually I'm kind of in the way, but yep, that's right. I've been using Blender for a pretty long time, actually, all things considered. It's just that most of my projects have been, you know, 2D focused, so it's hard to really say like I've done a bunch of 3D work when I really, you know, really haven't done that much 3D work, but this will be another one. This can go out. Maybe it needs to go inward a little bit. Maybe I can. This will be a fun shape. Let's see what this looks like. Beep. Always expecting it to work, but maybe some other time. I kind of work with how these are, kind of mimic how these shapes are with the inside track with the mouth, and then kind of copy what those shapes are, so then I can go around it. See if that works. When there's nothing else, so I guess that's the only way it can go. And then beep beep, and then hopefully these will all work. I have just enough shape, so hopefully, and this has to work, right? Numerically, how many shapes I got here, it should work. Okay. A lot of beats sort of dropping. There you go. Okay. That's that trying to work. I feel like there's not enough geometry or something may not work there, so I might need to like add another line going down here. Get that a little closer, and maybe another. How's this gonna work? Just needs to go around, but how? Something like that. And then maybe this go here. Maybe these merge, and then these can merge. Unfortunately, this does create a triangle, but also creates an Engon. Engon is a shape with more than 4 sides, so I might have to work on that sometime. This song reminds me of Rhythm Heaven for some reason. Anyway, so when the mouth opens, I'll be able to like grab like this shape and proportional edit it. Nope, a little bit. Nope, a little bit too small. There you go. I'll be able to like grab it, so you can like make little happy and sad faces like that. So having enough geometry here means that I can kind of flex this around pretty nicely. Obviously, the more that you have, the better. So you're gonna have more shapes like that. So if I add the mirror modifier back on, get a little smile, get a little frown, get a little ooh, get a little get a little. Grab some of these, and a little clipping is not quite working, but hopefully you get the point. And you can like open this up. Mouth. Like an so something like that. Okay. Let's see. Let's turn off mirror. Okay. So let's add a couple of these. Some of these. These are the only thing that merge. Actually needs to merge. I guess any kind of like xylophone music is Dokian-esque. Dokian-esque. This is a weird shape. Is that weird? Okay. Katawa shoujo's? Interesting. Shoujo's the boy action anime style ones, right? I'll have to look into that to see exactly what you mean there. Let's see. Sounds like a manga then. Okay. Alright. What's next? For the model, I guess I'll just have to continue filling in all this empty space here to get the rest of the jaw. Probably add a couple more loops in the mouth, and then have to keep working on shows for girls. Okay, show in. That's right. It's for boys then. Let's see. So I got the body. Looks like it's kind of dipping. Oh, I guess that's fine. And then I have the teeth and all these bips in here. So if I turn the lights on, you can see that there. Got the tongue in there, so if I just position them in the right place, then that'll work out. So right now they're not exactly good. Tongue, teeth. There you go. So when the mouth opens, it'll look something like that. And then we'll have the eyeballs. We'll figure that out. I guess it looks less like a weird mustache. So that's good. It actually has a cute little nose. So that's good. And hopefully I'll figure out how to get this to look exactly how I want instead of approximate, to get the pupils to look okay. I also got to work on the ears. So the ears, which I had again in the original head. See how big that mouth is. Looks way better now. It is proportional a little bit better, so I can probably like opposite of pinch it, inflate it. I could probably like inflate my new snout. So what is this? No, the other one. Yeah, it's a little bit too small, maybe. It's like a cute, tiny little mouth. But yeah, I want to add the ears, and obviously the ear spots to be connected. I want to have the ear spots be integrated with the rest of the mesh, so that the ear spots have their own crisscrossing topology to work with the ear, and then the ear itself also crisscrosses inside of the new topology of the head. So probably like here-ish will be the ear hole. So I'll delete this and then like extrude it out and then make an ear. There you go. Something like that, hopefully. And then figure that out. And then, beep, 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 boop, boop. And then that's just the modeling of the head. So hopefully that'll get done soon. And then the rest of the body, right now it's actually using subdivision, I think. Yeah. So I turn subdivision off. Excuse me, you can see how blocky it is. If you look at the butt is very blocky. A lot of weird normals are going on here. Just the way that it's shaded, it's telling me that there's some weird creases and some other weird stuff going on. And where there's like a weird harsh shadow and these kind of shapes are telling me it's kind of weird and blocky. So I probably need to do the same thing as I did with the head and like make a second shirt to put on top, and to use my newly better folded version, and then adding a new shirt on top that's able to actually use the correct and smoothed out version and allow for better topology. As you saw today, like with the nose, I was working really hard to make sure that this looks good, basically. It's probably not as good as it can be, but at least I accounted for the mouth loops. It's important to get the loops and poles. I didn't really talk about poles because basically I honestly don't know much about it, so I didn't want to explain that and be wrong. So those loops and poles will are gonna help make the animation look better. So there you go. So I can have enough geometry, enough information that I can work with that a little bit better. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Thank you, Cookie. Hope you have a good evening. Thank you so much. I'm gonna sneeze though, so excuse me. Good luck with exams. Let's see there. I will read up on everything Star said. But for everyone else, I'm thinking, hopefully, I mean, if I get where my milestones I think I'll be for next Tuesday. So yeah, so next Tuesday's stream, hopefully I'll get the modeling done, and then we can work on the armatures and so we can actually rotate it and not have it look like this when it animates. And it'll look way better, hopefully. I don't know what I had is spinning faster than everything else, but here we are. Here we are now, so hopefully this will, by next week this will look better. Yeah, so we'll get there. Yeah. I think it was important to actually show like how the nose was made, so you can actually see like, because what it is super important to get these. I'm told to get these loops to look good. So you can have a loop that goes around the lips, is so that you can animate it really well. And if you did that with, you know, just setting, you know, if you blocked, block modeled it, didn't worry about, you know, didn't care, and just went straight ahead from your subdivision and just modeled it, or just said like, forget this, let me just use whatever it comes with, however it decides to. The problem is that it doesn't, when you do a subdivision and then allow it to automatically figure out the new smooth quote geometry, then it's not smart enough to actually create these nice loops, which are nice little loop-de-loops that go all the way around like this, that actually are, these are very, very deliberate shapes, and these will allow for the best flexibility for animation and deformation. Animation kind of fits into that. So as we saw from the other head, I'll just quickly explain that one more time, is that this one was the original, and it looks okay, you know, on the front, you know, on the outside, but I'm sure if I start to like animate this, it'll start to really break down and not be able to really, there are some loops, but they're not really gonna work out as well as you think, I'm thinking. So obviously you can do this, but that's just like very, very minimal amount of getting that to work. So I feel it's better to just like really make sure that this actually is done correctly as best as I can with my ability. So hopefully it doesn't look a little better next time, but I think it's also good to show that there will be parts in times where this is going to look really ugly and just not fun to look at. So all the more reason and motivation to actually make this look as best as I can. So yeah, I'm going to go towards the time, and we'll hang out a little bit. Oh, we got the survive the montage. I will look up dog in show PDLC. Let's see if it just happens to be the name of the stock music used, and I don't think so. Okay. Well, is there a DDLC track list? I mean, I think it's probably just like very, very similar in tone and everything, rather than it actually literally being from DDLC, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's not, but it's just very, very similar in everything. Instruments, tone, and modulation, and whatever. Let's see then. Alright. Okay. Oh, I'll see you later, Dakota. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Have a good rest of your week. Thank you. Music still good? I'm just going to maybe like a little bit. There you go. Reading your stuff, cause Mr. Lockins, I wanted to get that nose good, which you can't see on my VTuber little thing here, cause it's not, it's cute, it's not, it'd be less cute if she had a nose in front view. Let's see. I'll probably, inflate the nose like a little bit, because I feel it feels a little small, but I guess if I fill it out, maybe it'll look a little better. But definitely you can only really see the nose from side view. I'm spinning it around right now in 3D. Yeah. Let's see. Where's the VTuber? Yep, and I can say hello. Hello. There you go. I feel like my secret plan is to use this 3D model as a 3D VTuber model. So we'll see how this works, but obviously I've never really tried doing a 3D version yet. So I've looked up all the, I watched like one 10-hour session of getting the model and putting it into. It's weird because like they had like a 10-part series, and then like chapter 9.5 was actually getting it into, you know, exporting it and then putting it into the VTube software, and it's like, oh, okay. So it's like really 90% of getting the model is, you know, into the whatever software is 90% is just modeling it and setting up the 3D model in Armature and setting expressions and all that fun stuff. So seems like it really is just like clicking a couple export buttons. There's a couple of setup stuff. The middleman software is Unity. Unity is a game engine, which it somehow has an add-on that allows you to import and export your FBX 3D model, and then let the add-on kind of configure how to export into a file that like VCMe and all those can understand, and then you load it in from there. So if you set everything up correctly, then it's actually really works out really well. Let's see. It seems to be pretty streamlined. Yeah. How do you do? Let's see. Try to get back into making your original IP. Okay. Use that free model. Just can't run it back to Pony server. At least for maybe like a little bit. Maybe I'll just have like a little stint of using 3D model. But I have actually thought of the original IP. Yeah. The one that was the comic about the scuba cat, and then the cat gets lost in the ocean and then wakes up and has to find its way back to its human owner. It's really pretty simple plot, but I think it'd be interesting to see what kind of Alice in Wonderland kind of weird characters you can meet along the way, other fish and other creatures, and have fun with that. I have been thinking about, instead of doing a comic, I have been thinking of doing like plans of like what kind of genres that can work with making a video game version of it, because I want to get it to see if I can do video games instead. Comics are good. Maybe be good for making little storyboards and stuff, and maybe like have it a little appendium and have little cutscenes and stuff in comic book style or something. But I think having a more interactive, you know, modern way of telling a story would be more fun and more gratifying for me to learn a whole bunch of the little tricks and stuff and skills that obviously just drawing a little comic isn't really gonna teach me anything as much as a video game's gonna be able to program and lay out and seeing things through really to the end of doing all that kind of stuff. RGB actually might work well. I haven't thought about that. I've definitely thought of using Unity has, well, now it's like a year ago, they built in a visual scripting system that allows you to use nodes and be able to use blocks of nodes and connect them with different wires and noodles, and be able to actually make code. So you could like have an object that then has a translate node, and then you can have a get key press. So if key press W is true, then have a branch and then say translate along X, and then at a certain velocity or whatever. So like translate every single frame it updates to then be whatever percentage, like 30 degrees X, and then when you press W, then it actually shoots off. So stuff like that you can actually do and get way more complicated. These kind of like almost like storytelling of like when you press this, then this happens, and then there's a collision, and then check for this, and all the kind of stuff. So it's like, wow, this is actually really good for me, who's actually way better at understanding nodes, and seeing giant trees of a whole bunch of stuff is actually way easier to discern than wall text, which may be weird and counterintuitive than, you know, but at least I understand it. So you can organize the nodes and make little categories and label them, so you don't really get lost too much if you stay organized. So, excuse me. Boop, 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 boop. Maybe 6 of the comments words would be best before jumpstream streaming. Okay. Maybe I'll just keep, yeah, I'll definitely start thinking about how can I make this into something interactive, yeah. As I make a comic, yeah. But yeah, I think maybe just having like storyboards instead of a literal comic. The problem with the problems that I had with making a comic last time is that I really felt like really restricted by having a page and then having to fill it with boxes. And then once I kind of like set up how many boxes, you know, I place on there, either randomly or try to figure it out, it's hard to then really undo it. You know, I feel like I'm always trapped in a box then of like, well, I guess I need certain amount before I want this, like, the next kind of part, you know. I don't want to, like, really introduce something, like, on this page, maybe, like, now I need to, like, add maybe, like, one more panel, and so it's, like, it's really messy, and it's, like, I don't really like to feel that kind of weird restriction, because that's actually one of the problems that I did have with trying to make the comic, is that it was much, I was being weirdly picky with like how many boxes and where I wanted the story to be at certain points on the page, that it just got way too, I got too panicky about it. Even just making storyboards are very like rough notes and stuff. It's just like, wait a minute, do I want this here, or should this be on the next page, or do I want this to be a large picture? But if I make this a large picture, you know, that's going to take up 60% of the page, then what are these other panels going to be? And it just got really, yeah. So, it was at a time where it's like I just couldn't think about it like that, or think too clearly about what I really wanted and where I wanted to really go with it. So, I think probably just having it as, conceptualizing it in a way that I understand, which is like animatics and storyboards, where a storyboard fills an entire canvas size and then work from there. So it becomes way more literal and linear, because you can't see like the next panel, because it's just be the entire one panel will take up the entire screen. So weird stuff like that I just got really hung up on, and I just couldn't get my mind out of that mode of like, no. I don't like it like this. So that's actually why the comic kind of fell off for a little bit, is that I was really panicky about that. Yeah. Ah, boy. What's that? Which one? Interactive. Ooh. Tumblr comic where one would do viewer suggestion actions. It would turn into a short point and click flash game. Yeah. Actually, that's I think that's probably gonna be probably the simplest would be to make a point and click game for the Scuba Cat game. I was mulling around like, should this be like 2D or 3D? Do I really want to work on a 3D huge adventure game, or maybe just something more puzzle or, you know, escape room style of like, you're in this room, so Metroidvania, maybe more Metroid, where you see a bunch of sea kelp and you can't get to the next room, so you go back and explore, and then you find some pliers in a different room, and maybe the fish wants to do a trade, and then it just gets more complicated until you get the pliers, then remove the sea kelp, and then you can move on. So like those kind of like fun little puzzles, where it's like feels like the environment is utilized. I think it'll be fun. So Yeah, definitely nothing like 64 Sunshine level of crazy acrobatics, but more like Freddy Fish maybe style. I was actually thinking of like looking up some Freddy Fish gameplay and maybe playing some so I can figure out what they do, because I think that's probably going to be my closest you know, separation from inspiration for what I want for the game. Obviously, it'll have its own original story and characters and stuff, but I think on the gameplay style of being able to have an inventory and be able to talk to characters, I think that's actually probably the closest of what I'm thinking. So, yeah. But I did write out a little 10 chapter idea, which was just like, in chapter 5, this happens. And then that would be at like two words or something. So I definitely have a full outline, very, very brief and loose outline, so it has enough room to add some stuff into it. Whole bunch, because they're literally just fish happens. So, yeah, excited to start brainstorming what I can do with that. But I think for right now, a 2D art, maybe 3D parallax for the background, and then point and click where you can maybe have it be mobile friendly. Might be fun too, or start thinking about if it could be a mobile game, what are the options for that? Would just be to be able to just point and click on what you want, and then have a follow to pointer kind of commands and talk to characters and interactive stuff and use inventory. That's as far as I'm really thinking about right now, so hopefully I don't get scope creep, but that's actually what I've been thinking about the last couple days, so I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you, Star. Yeah. I don't think RGB Maker would, I'll see, but I think that's more for like top-down, definitely RPG style, so be good for those kind of inventories and talk to characters, but not sure if that's exactly the style. I definitely don't want to like learn something new per se. I don't really know what the scripting or whatever of RPG Maker is, especially now I have made a Pong clone, which is basically it's Pong. Unity game. See if I can actually find it real quick. This won't probably explode my computer. But yeah, maybe I can open this up, and if I don't open this up in like the next 5 minutes, then I'll give it up. But yeah. Let's see then, because I can also show like very briefly about the node structure that also opens up. So how we doing? Well, yeah, I'll definitely look in RGB Maker to see if that's close to what I'm looking for. If it's that easy as, because there's some visual programming style like where it's like, is it Turtle? Or I don't understand Turtle. Where you program a turtle to then follow an ant line, or you're telling it like in 50 steps rotate 90 degrees, and then you write a whole bunch of like codes to like make a path, and then it then the turtle then plays and goes and follows all the commands in order. For some reason I don't really understand how that works. There was like a puzzle on Deltarune, spoilers for that. A couple hours in, there's like a whole bunch of like mice puzzles, where it's basically that, where it's like set up on the platforms to like rotate these panels, and the mice have to like follow a path. And it was like, I don't understand. Thankfully, Deltarune was very forgiving. It was actually chapter 2. Very forgiving. And I don't think you can get a game over with that. There was like some action sequence with that where like had to do all these, felt very action oriented, of like trying to get all these mice in a hole and try to fill it up. But it seemed like there was not too much consequence, even though it seemed like there was, where there's like some serious stakes. But Yeah, it was just like a little slap on the wrist, like, oh, you messed up for a little bit there. Whoops. The mouse didn't go in the hole. Whoops. So I was very happy about that. That was not punishing. It would seem that somebody's might not work. I'm gonna go back to main camera. Boop, boop, boop. And this actually squeezes down just a little bit. Okay. Let's see if this works. Oh, here's the script at the bottom. I'll just see if it works at all. Okay. Then we can go up and down. That's good. Oh yeah, I made 2 versions. So I'm the one on the right. Actually, I can control both of them. That's right. So I programmed this. So are you impressed? So I can definitely make I can make this. I'm controlling both paddles here. So I'm pressing. Oop, that's a bug there. Rear panel. The collision wants to make it go up for some reason if you hit it at the wrong angle. It's a slow one. I think there's a way to reset or something. I think I programmed that. Like if I press R, yeah, press R, then it resets the game. So at any point I can press R and resets. I think press space goes to level 2, which is a little bit harder because now your paddle is a little bit broken. I didn't quite play test it enough, but if you press space and you go to level 2, that the blocks are not quite oriented the same way. There you go. And that was completely scripted with visual scripting, so you can see. How do I zoom out? All these little nodes here. So when events start on every update, what are we even talking about? So paddle left. Let's go to scene 1. Script graph. So let's see. So every frame, it's saying look for a keyboard, and we're looking for the key, which is probably one of these, I think. Yeah, it's looking for the key code of W and S. And so if the key code is up, and it has to look for the variable, get the variable from over here, and if that returns true, then you follow the path to true, and then we get to translate, which is a variable, which is the paddle speed. And the paddle speed is one of these probably, I don't see it. Oh, paddle speed is a float, and so that's a 0.06 speed, and so that's the paddle speed for that. And if you don't press a button, or if you press the other button, if you press the other, probably the down, then it gets the same thing. So that's the paddle speed, and then minus is 1. Paddle speed actually gets slower, I think. But if it's false, then it resets the scene. So load scene again, and so that is. I haven't looked at this in a while, so I'm not actually sure what this is saying here. I think left and right is the same. The ball has its own logic here. Some of these are not actually used, but I wanted to keep them just around. So every on start, the ball gets a force, and the force is from the variable of the speed, and we're creating a vector, a little bit of y there, y. So it gets x inertia to go this way a little bit, and also slightly a little bit down. So actually, when it starts at a slight angle downward. So when I play it, should be able to see that. Or not, if it's trying really, really hard. Reset. So it's not quite straight. So it actually is very, very small. Going down a little bit. Over here's the canvas view of that. Oh, it is collisions. So if it hits the collisions, then it like compares tags of like the outside. So each of these are, each bounds left and right, up and down are different objects you can see from here. So if the ball hits one of these, the bounds, it's like ball bounds left, then we can say like it can get the score to then add a score for the right side. And so you add one value to that. And if it hits the right side, then the left paddle gets a point. So it's like, if you boil it down, it really makes sense. So what's actually happening? But yeah. Let me open that back up. Let me open this one up. There you go. So I can see you guys. So ball speed up. I actually programmed this in. I watched a couple tutorials and tried to figure this out. Try to follow along. But I actually added this, I believe, is that each time the ball hits a paddle, if it hits the player left or right, and if it's true, if it hits it, then you add a force. So it gets just slightly additive. So every single time that it hits a player, if the ball hits the player, then a little bit of force is either added or subtracted. So that makes it so it goes a little bit faster, and as well as a little bit random, because each time it makes it so that you don't get a stalemate. Because that was a problem with regular Pong, is that you would tend to get a stalemate because there wasn't a diagonal force being applied every single time. Because you can get it to be the angle to be exactly straight on. So if you play it again, then it won't. You can't get a stalemate basically, because it has that very, very slight downward angle. So even if it, you can see like it going. So even if it's supposed to like just kind of start out, it actually kind of goes down a little bit, so that they have to go down, and then every single time it gets hit, it actually increases speed and changes velocity very, very slightly. So like it's imperceptible of like how much it actually is changing, but and with the diagonal it should eventually go down a little bit, so you're continuously always on your toes, as well as it getting a little bit faster each time, so it actually gets a little bit harder as well. So I feel like I made something pretty cool. I felt like I added on to like what the tutorial was, so I feel happy. As well, I made it pretty fun, and I'm actually having a little bit of trouble here. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the Pong game. There you go. So, I felt like that worked out pretty well. As a first game, you know, to play this out and figure out all this kind of fun stuff. So, but yeah, I would feel star if I wanted to just immediately drop this to like make use a different one like RPG Maker. I feel like I would start again from the bottom again. So I feel like if I'm gonna use something, I would probably use Unity with the visual scripting, because I feel like I'm obviously had some sort of a handle that I was able to add on to what I saw. So I feel like this would work out pretty well. Especially there's a lot of documentation that'll work out really well. So there you go. I think we can wrap this up. So I guess on next week we'll see where I am with the 3D model of Derpy. Hopefully it'll be, you know, oh, I can do this. I cross my fingers, you know, like maybe how am I gonna do this? Maybe yeah, there you go. I had to figure out there's like 10 buttons I can press here. So, you know, cross my fingers that it'll the model be finished, and yeah. Then we'll be able to work on the armature, which is the skeleton, so then the mesh can actually be deformed and moved around to be able to animate it. And then once we get that done, the full checklist is to get armature, and then we'll actually start doing the story, so we can figure out what characters you would like and what actions you would like and place and all that. Get all the who's, what's, and hows and stuff figured out, and then we'll work on adding hair and color for making the characters and making a set, whatever we need, props, whatever we need from there. So you guys will provide the story, and we'll vote on that. And then we'll animate the little animation you guys choose. So it's probably going to take a couple months in full to get that completely done, but I think it'll be fun just for the fact that I'm making all this from scratch. And I feel like I've learned like 100 different things and just already with making a model. So I'm looking forward to learning even more weird stuff. Hopefully beneficial stuff. So let's see. Ah boy. Let's go to this. I'm afraid it's just gonna be currently that might take at least 3 years of learning on. Let's see. Wait, most of it isn't it just like if click on if tag equals character, then this action will happen where dialog box and text appears and stuff. I'm sure there's a bunch of documentation for like stuff like that, and then there's just apply it to even simpler stuff of like if you click on crowbar, then what happens next kind of stuff. So I don't doubt that this will be extremely challenging, but I feel like the fundamentals I feel like I got a grasp on. So you know what I mean? But it'll definitely be learning curve to a lot of this, but I feel like once I kind of get going, it'll be easy to just kind of sort of copy paste, but not really for a lot of these sort of stuff. So there won't be too much different types of like, you know, interactions. Like it won't be like the Skyrim level of like pickpocketing mini games and all that sort of stuff. Ooh, mini games, that'd be fun. Maybe a little WarioWare micro games. But yeah, definitely will take a while, and I feel like this will be a huge passion project, big hobby to get that, to be able to make a game. But I feel like I know my strengths and definitely know not to scope creep, hopefully with stuff I really don't know. So we'll see. But definitely priority will be highest is to get the movie done, and then to get the stream stuff with this 3D model animation going. I guess my work would probably be a little bit higher than everything else. I haven't had much, honestly, really much to do. It's mostly on background work, and I finished my animation for that sequence, so I'm kind of just stalling a little bit there. Definitely, work would be top priority, and then everything else. And then once a lot of those, the movie might need to be finished, probably. I'm thinking like way far ahead that probably the movie would need to be finished, and then I can work on the Scuba Cat project. I just feel like if I start to really do both of these huge projects, I'm going to stretch myself way too thin. So I feel like I would probably just need to finish the movie first. So I'm just going to put this on the back burner, but at least to get some little baby steps, like what am I going to use and what kind of story am I doing, are at least kind of fleshed out in some sort of sense. That I like to use Unity, and I like to do my game be about the scuba cat. So, and at least I got some couple pages worth of the comic done. So maybe the first title screen maybe sort of finished. So little stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely don't doubt that this will be a huge project that I'm already thinking like I'm not probably gonna work on it, you know, in full and do full time on it right now. Yeah, so we'll see. Let's close this. If you guys be interested in the Pong game, I could probably figure out how to export that. Have you guys play it? I know the secret code to get the level 2, which is completely broken. I kind of gave up on that. Trying to get that to work. That was like a weird physics thing of trying to control multiple things. So I doubt that that's going to be, or maybe it's just being something I'll have to figure out. So, but yeah, right now is working 3D model. So work on that soon over the weekend. So we'll see. Maybe I'll find a better way to do the eyeballs. There might be ways to make a Boolean style of masking. It seems like 2D is way better at making masks than 3D. So, that's fun. Yeah, pretty interesting. Okay. But yeah, I think that's about it. I'll say goodbye then. Thank you so much. Thank you, Star, and everyone else. Rest of chat. Thank you, Blink. Blink, I see at the top there. How do you do? That's been a bit. Anyway. Yeah, thank you guys for all for coming. I'm gonna wrap up, so thank you again, and see you next week. Or I'll see where I am. Yeah. Okay then. Yep. Thank you guys. Bye everyone. Yay. I can finally like jam out to this now. Jam out to music instead of like bobbing awkwardly in a void.